Hello and welcome to episode 116 of the Giddy Knits podcast. As always, I am Helen and I am coming to you from Dundee in Scotland, where I live with my husband Tom and my two boys, Arthur, who is 8, and Jasper, who is 5. That's the same every week, isn't it? Hello and welcome back to anyone that's new, and also hello to anyone that is checking out the podcast for the first time. As if you are new, I am the dyer behind Giddy Yarns, and this is my crafting podcast where I talk about whatever projects I've been working on. The background gets messier and messier every week. I keep looking at these shelves and thinking, my goodness, I need to organise them. I am in the lead up to a yarn show in 2 weeks' time, so the background is going to get even messier probably because chaos has ensued. But it's fine. It's real life. Once the garage is done, which we're still waiting to hear back from the plans and everything having been submitted, but once the garage has been converted, hopefully I will have a nice background again, because I will have the sofa bed to sit back on again, and yeah, we'll get it all sorted and it will be much more organised and less chaotic. Although I do know a number of you quite like spotting the board game shelves and seeing which ones you have as well. We do have quite the selection over there. Anyway, I'm rambling already and we've not even started the episode. I am recording a week in March vlogs this week. So you will see other videos popping up on my channel this week as well as the podcast. And I'm saying that because this podcast episode is probably going to be quite short, because I've not had masses of knitting time to work on lots of projects. I do have some finished objects to share, but I've just noticed that one of the works in progress that I was going to talk about, I haven't brought over, so that's going to be even shorter. Basically, I've got a very quick announcement section. I've got a few finished objects to share with you. I've got one work in progress to talk about, and then I'm going to finish off with a tiny bit of shop news. And that's pretty much it for this episode. So it is going to be a bit of a shorter episode. But you will get 5 other videos this week, so hopefully it all balances out. So let's just get into it, shall we? Let's just start. Let's go. So, announcements, first of all, is just to say that we've got the Giddy Yarns make-along still running, and basically that is an ongoing make-along. I run it constantly, and every quarter I draw 2 prizes from our finished objects from various places. You can enter in Ravelry, you can enter on Mighty Networks, and you can also enter on Instagram. All the details for the rules and how to enter and everything will be in the drop-down box underneath this video on YouTube. And the next prize draw will be made at the end of March. So if you're working on anything using my yarn and you get it finished by the end of March, then don't forget to enter it into one of those places, because you could be in with the chance of winning some more yarn. Right, finished objects. Let's get straight into the finished objects. And I've just realised, have I got sock blockers somewhere? Ah, I do. In the messy shelves there is a sock blocker. I have finished, let's start with the sock, seeing as I've just grabbed the sock blocker. I have finished Tom's Colour of the Month sock for February. And these sock blockers, I've mentioned before, these sock blockers are designed for my foot. They go for a UK size 6, and Tom is a UK size 10, so obviously they don't fit on the sock blockers properly. But there we go, I have finished Tom's Colour of the Month sock for February. So if you have been watching regularly, you'll know, but each month I'm releasing a Colour of the Month colourway inspired by a artificially intelligence created artwork. I'll talk about it a little bit more in shop news because I've got this month's colourway to share. I thought, for a bit of fun, my husband only wears odd socks. So for a bit of fun, I thought what I would do is knit him up a single sock each month using the Colour of the Month colourway, and then hopefully by the end of the year he'll have 6 pairs, but they'll all be odd. So I'm sticking to exactly the same recipe. I'm doing, I don't know how many rows of rib. I've got it on my phone. How many rows of rib am I doing? If my phone would unlock, I could tell you. I'm doing 10 rows of rib, there we go. 72 stitches, 10 rows of rib, around 70 rows for the leg. I'm using a German short row heel. He then has 82, I did 83 for this one. Oh well. He then has about 82 or 83 rows for the foot, and then I'm using an umbrella toe for the toe. So there we go. That is, yeah, that is the toe. The toe didn't go quite to plan this time. I'm not quite sure what I did wrong. I think I might have used the toe for a smaller size number of stitches, because I certainly ended up with the wrong number of stitches. But I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, that is Tom's February sock all finished. And I'm going to tuck them away. He got quite excited when I said this. He was like, oh, does that mean I've got a pair? And I was like, well, yes, but you're not getting them yet. And he was like, oh, am I getting a box of socks? So I said, yeah, I'm going to tuck them away and you can have them in December. So he surprised me by being very excited about getting a box of socks. But yeah, as I said, I've got March's colourway to share with you. I'll do that in the shop news towards the end, because I haven't cast it on yet. I haven't even dyed up any 50-gram skeins yet to be able to steal one. I'm hoping to do that today. But yeah, one finished sock. And yes, I know one sock is a bit of a cheat for a finished object, but they are intentional single socks, so I am counting them. So that one was good to get done. And then I also finished, and Jasper is ecstatic about this, and he, yeah, is very glad I finally finished them. I have finished Jasper's tinsel mitts. So these are a pattern by Andrea Mowry. They are the tinsel mitts, and they are a convertible mitten. So they obviously aren't going to fit me, but if I just pop them on my hand slightly, you'll be able to see a bit better. So they are a convertible mitten. So the top, they are fingerless, with the top comes down, and then you just pop it over to keep your fingers warm. So the boys quite liked the idea of these, because when they're at school, they obviously have a snack at playtime, and Arthur's always moaning that he has to take his mittens off to eat his snack. And Jasper doesn't have any mittens at all, because he's grown out of the last pair that I made him. So I made his first. So he has got a pair of tinsel mittens, and I used 3rd Volt yarns in the Vulcan High Command colourway, I believe. This is the colourway. I've got loads left. I'm thinking of keeping it, and then I can always knit him a larger size when he needs it. So yeah, it's 3rd Volt yarns, and it's the Vulcan High Command colourway. I love her logo. I don't know if the logo is still the same actually, or if she's changed it. This is quite an old stash skein. And it's actually a merino cashmere nylon blend. So I'm a bit worried that they're going to felt horrendously. I'm losing my voice. I'm a bit worried that they're going to felt horrendously, but he'll be happy with them. So yeah, another finished object. It's funny, isn't it? Because I get these little small finished objects, and like I have so many small little projects on the needles, and it feels like I'm getting nowhere with anything at all. And then all of a sudden, there'll be a flurry of finished objects, because I'll actually have sat down and spent time. All of these got finished this weekend because I actually spent time working on them. So yeah, a pair of tinsel mitts. I do have, I've been keeping them in this lovely bag that a lovely viewer made for me, which is technically a 2 at a time sock bag. It's got a divider in, can you see? But I thought what I would do is put the yarn for Arthur's mittens on one side, and then the yarn for Jasper's mittens on the other side. Not that I really needed it, but I do have yarn that Arthur has dug out of my stash and chosen to knit him a pair. I haven't started them yet, but hopefully I will do soon. Although his mittens still fit him, so he doesn't really need these until next winter. This is the Earth Day colourway from Laura at Bumbling Yarns. And it's a DK, the pattern is a DK pattern, so both of these are DK weight yarns. So they do knit up relatively quickly. But yeah, that will be another project at some point, once Arthur's nagged me enough that I have to start them. And Jasper will be very pleased that I've now shown these on the podcast so he can actually have them, because I wouldn't let him take them to school with him this morning. And then the final finished object is very cute, because the final finished object is my gnome. This is Nombleberry. Nombleberry the gnome. It is the pattern from Imagined Landscapes, which is Leave Gnome Stone Unturned. And Nombleberry has a little rucksack, and in the little rucksack is Newt. Newt the gnome, and it is its own little separate gnome. So cute. Arthur loves anything cute, and he was completely and utterly blown away when he saw Newt and I showed him the finished gnome. And yeah, Newt just sits in the little backpack there, and she's all finished. I didn't do an embellishment on the pocket because I quite like the little plain pocket. She is a little bit wonky. I did put the arms on at slightly misplaced, and the hat is not quite central to the arms, and the rucksack is definitely on slightly wonky. But do you know what? That's one of the things about gnomes. Oh, and I've forgotten to do the tassel. There's meant to be a tassel on her hat, and I haven't done that. I shall have to do that. So I guess technically she's not a finished object. Oh well, I will get that done at some point. I will do the tassel, but to be fair, it doesn't really matter that much that I've forgotten the tassel. But yeah, there we go. So that is Nombleberry and Newt, the final finished gnome. I love these gnomes. They are the most ridiculous thing to knit, but there is just something about them. And I have knit every one of the mystery gnome knit-alongs that have happened. And I've actually got them all next to me because I thought, seeing as I've got less content this week, I would do a quick gnome run through. Some of you may have noticed that they weren't sitting up. Oh, I can't work out where to point. That they weren't sitting up here where they normally sit. So we have got, I think the first one that I knit was, I can't remember all the names, but was this one here. Which I quite liked because I had quite a botanical theme. It's got bits all over it from putting it down. It had quite a botanical theme, and I really enjoyed the kind of flower patterns on the hat, and the beard was a big leaf, which was quite fun, and she also had a little leaf on her hat. So that was the first one. I can't remember what I used inside, but it's kind of crinkly. She's got a crinkly bottom. Then the second one I knit, I think, was this one here, which I love the little tri-point hat. That was really fun and really interesting to knit. And I just love how big her nose is. Her, him, I don't necessarily know the genders of my gnomes, to be honest. And of course, pockets. It's got little pockets that you can put its hands in. And then this one was, I loved the way that this one didn't have a beard, but you had the little scarf instead. So there we go, that was gnome number 2. Gnome number 3 was, and I have to admit, this was my least favourite gnome to knit because this was a colourwork gnome, and I am not a colourwork fan. I have tried so many times, but I just haven't succeeded. And I'm also not as pleased with my colour choices. I wish I'd done... Basically, I like the hat, but I wish I'd done the body with the navy as the main colour and then the grey as the contrast bit. I think that would have been, I think that would have stood out a little bit more, rather than having the grey beard, the grey body, and then sort of the start of the hat being grey as well. But I do love the beard on this one. I really, really like the beard and the effect that the beard had. If my camera would focus, you'd be able to see. Come on, camera. No. There we go. I really liked the twisty beard. I thought that was very clever. And then I can't remember which one was next. I think this one was next. This one was really fun because you held 2 strands of 4-ply together. So this was kind of a marled gnome. which was really fun. There were, I quite like I've obviously lost a bit of stuffing from the top of her hat. I really liked the little hat detail at the top there. And also she's got a little kangaroo. She's wearing a hoodie with a little kangaroo pocket, which is really cute. So again, you've got pockets that you can put her hands in. And I quite liked the cabled beard as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I really like this one. I love the colours of this one as well. And then there was the first Christmas gnome, which was this one here. And I like the colours of this one too, actually. This is one of my favourites for colours. I really liked the bauble on the hat, and then again I really enjoyed the fun beard that was slightly different. And it's got a little belt, and can you see the little metal belt buckle as well, and legs, very cute. And then this one was the next one, I believe. Again, another one I really enjoyed. I really loved the cable hat. That was so different, and I loved the way that the cables continued down the body. I really liked the details on this one. And other than that, it was really simple, but I love the details. This one has got its tassel on its hat. I really do need to do the tassel, don't I? It does look good. I will do the tassel. And then obviously the other most recent one is this one here, which again, I can't remember the colourway. But I think was this Norway? I can't remember, but she's the ice cream one. I loved her hat. It's so different. It was a lot of eye coordinate. It really was a lot of eye coordinate, but it is so fun. And again, no beard, but I really like the plaits. In fact, they weren't the other one. So this one, you actually had a braid, so you plaited the strands together to create the plaits. Whereas with Norway, it was actually a little cable, which I thought was really interesting. So that was quite fun that they were different. And then of course you've got her little ice cream cone, and her little gloves, which were really cute. So yeah, and then of course the final one will be Numbleberry. So I'm looking forward to whether she does some more mystery gnome knit alongs this year, because I really enjoy collecting them. And I do have now a rather ridiculous collection of 8 gnomes, 2, 4, 6, 8 gnomes that sit up on the top of our games unit, and yeah, they're ridiculous, but they make me happy and they're really fun to knit. So if you've not tried one, then do it. Honestly, they are so much fun. Anyway, that's all the finished objects. Works in progress wise, I am mostly working on my armour sweater, unsurprisingly. Which is, I've shared this I think the last couple of weeks. So this is my armour sweater, which is a pattern, I've just dropped the yarn, which is a pattern by Maddie Harvey, and it's a DK weight cropped sweater, and it has this gorgeous string of pearl. I'm using my yarn, so I'm using Deep in the Woods is the green, and Granny Smith is the speckled colourway at the top, and I'm getting there. I've got about 1 inch, I've worked out. I've moved some stitch markers around, so I'm not sure where I was last time I showed this to you. Possibly I was there, so I've added about 1 inch. I've moved some stitch markers around though, progress keepers around, because I was trying to work out how long I want to do. So I've got about another inch to do in the body, and then I add the Granny Smith as a contrast colour for the end and for the kind of hem. Well, not quite the hem. You do some more of the body in the contrast colour and then the hem in the contrast colour. And then I just need to knit the sleeves. So I'm still hopeful that I'll get this finished before East Anglia. If it becomes my main project this week, then maybe I will. It'll make next week's podcast a bit boring, but hopefully I will manage to get this finished. I'm definitely planning on doing relatively short sleeves, because there's no way I'm going to knit a pair of sleeves by 2 weeks time, not a chance. But I might get short sleeves done, and to be fair, as I've said before, I'm probably going to wear this at shows as a sample of the colours. So that stitch marker has caught on the yarn. It's a bit annoying. There we go. Definitely going to wear this at shows, so actually short sleeves might not be a bad idea. And I think I mentioned last week I can always wear it with a long sleeved top underneath. So yeah, that is my final work in progress, and the only work in progress I'm really going to talk about this week. I need to rescue the yarn. I can't rescue the yarn. It's gone properly under the table. I'm going to prop the project just on that chair so I can rescue the yarn shortly. And then the last thing I've got to talk about is just a little bit of shop news. Just again to mention that I will be vending at East Anglia Yarn Fest in Norwich on the, I cannot get these dates right at all, on the 26th and 27th of March. So I look forward to seeing anyone that is coming along, anyone that I will meet there. I will be releasing a brand new collection and it will be releasing at the show, but it will be available online afterwards. And I've got quite a lot of self-striping, hopefully, coming to the show with me. It's all dyed, I just have to wind it all. I've got quite a lot of self-striping, hopefully, coming to the show with me, and anything that doesn't sell at the show will go online after the show as well. So there will be a shop update at some point after the show. I'm not sure when. Colour of the month. I really need a sip of tea, although my tea appears to have biscuit in it. Oh, it's not tea. One, it's not tea. Two, it appears to have biscuit in it, and I don't know why I would have biscuit in it, so I'm going to come back to that. Anyway, what else was I talking about? Colour of the month. I'm all over the place. Colour of the month. So, I do have this month's colour of the month. I will, which way shall I go? I'll go this way. I will pop up a picture of the inspiration image for March, and this is the colourway. It's not going to come across very well on camera, I don't think, which is a bit of a shame. So it is, it's lovely and watercoloury. I'm really pleased with how this came out, actually. I really like the kind of watercoloury nature of it. I'm looking forward to getting this cast on for Tom so that I can see how it knits up. But it's basically a combination of kind of blue, yellow and fuchsia. But obviously, because it's kind of a blendy colour, you get some green patches and you get some kind of orangey corally patches, and you'll get some purpley patches as well, because it's got that kind of watercoloury nature. But I thought that worked really well with the image, because the image was very much the same. It was very much those three colours, and then the way that they blended into each other. So yeah. I haven't decided on the contrast mini colour yet. I will hopefully do that at some point this week, because I am planning to put the colourway in the shop hopefully on Friday the 18th, because otherwise it's not going to go in the shop in March at all, because I've obviously with East Anglia there isn't another weekend, so hopefully it will go in the shop this Friday the 18th of March. And as always, I will have 70-gram sock sets and 120-gram sock sets, and I'll also pop a few 100-gram skeins up for those of you that don't want sock sets. So that is the plan. Right, I need to get set up to wind stripes for the rest of the afternoon. I need to do a few other jobs. I need to get back to dyeing my yarn, and I need to get back to recording the daily vlogs. So I will see you all again, hopefully in an episode next week, and thank you very much for watching. Bye.